What up, African families? Home team here, and I thought I'd switch it up a little and start a series I'll call A Closer Look. It'll simply be based on highlighting specific African ethnic groups and speaking about their unique history. There's definitely a lot we can miss concerning African history if we just focus on empires and kingdoms and such. So I think it'll be a good addition, but ultimately, we'll see how it goes. And as always, if you want to support the home team and gain access to sources, courses, and exclusive videos, you can do so on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. I wanted to talk about a largely ignored ethnic group in Africa that I think has a very unique and interesting history. The reason I think their history is unique is because they seem to be one of the few African people who've had a very long and visible ancient history with little to no information about them. The people I'm talking about are the Nuer people of South Sudan. Now, Nuer people live mostly in southern Sudan, but they also inhabit parts of western Ethiopia. The Nuer call themselves Na'ath, meaning human beings. And oral tradition indicates that the Na'at migrated south from the drought-ridden area of Kordofan around 1700 AD. They occupied a huge Dinka territory and increased their territorial domain. In this process, many Dinka were absorbed into the Na'at culture. Many scholars state that most Na'at have a Dinka background. Still, others believe that Na'at have a Luau origin like the Enyua and Shilluk. The Na'at and Dinka have similar cultural traditions. The split into different ethnic groups probably occurred due to conflict over cattle, and they have maintained an on and off conflict over the last 300 years. Scholars tend to go back and forth as to the origins of the Na'at ethnic group, but according to one Na'at elder within the community, he has this to say in a sort of poetic style concerning their origin. The cultural system and political system is what differs between the Dinka and Na'at. The Na'at and Dinka were all one. The Dinka was the older and the Na'at the younger. When the father of both was ready to die, there was only one cow left. He called the Dinka and he was given the cow, and the Na'at was given the calf. When the father divided the property, the mother called to the Dinka, who was loved by the mother more because the Na'at was the troublemaker. So the Dinka son and the mother were together. When it was time to receive the share from the father said to the Na'at, "You must take the calf because it will reproduce." But the older Dinka pretended to be Na'at, and the next morning he deceived his father and received the calf. The next morning, the Na'at son found he had the old cow. So his father said, "You can go after the cow. If you get it, good. It is up to you." So this is our problem today. The Na'at always have rotten cows, and when we raid Dinka cattle, it is because they are ours. The Dinka will not deny this. Now, whether the story is true or not doesn't really matter because it points to a very important feature in Na'at worldview and the relationship they have with their closest neighbor. So according to him, it would seem as though a long time ago, the Dinka and the Na'at were one. The Na'at call the supreme deity by the name of Quoth or Spirit. Quoth is the omnipresent creator of the universe. He is identified with the sky, which makes all that is above sacred. He is also called Quoth Nehel, spirit of the sky. The Na'at say he is like the wind. You cannot see him, yet he is everywhere. He reveals himself through natural wonders such as rain, thunder, and lightning. He is addressed in prayers as Quoth Gwawa, spirit of the universe. He created ritual and custom, providing some men with belief and others with nothing. Sustainer of life, he is called Yan, a living being, whose Ye is the breath that gives man life. Na'at believe Quoth is their friend, whom they call on in times of sickness. He is their protector, often called Guandong, ancestor or grandfather. Quoth can also be angry and is deemed distant because of his faraway presence in the sky. He participates in man's affairs, but does so through the aid of other spirits that haunt the gap between heaven and earth. Quoth has the power to bring death and take and protect souls. When the Na'at die, they believe it is natural, but ultimately attributed to Quoth. A very interesting cultural practice among the Na'ats is the practice of facial markings they call Ga'ar. It's part of their initiation into adulthood. The most common initiation pattern among males consists of 6 parallel horizontal lines which are cut across the forehead with a razor. One article called The Nile speaks about a 13-year-old Na'at boy who is excited to receive his scarification because, according to him, I am free now to talk with girls. I find it very interesting that we can see these same exact patterns on the Nubian groups depicted by the Egyptians in sculpture. Literally the same exact scarification practice of the Na'at people can be seen on this Nubian sculpture, and the phenotypical profile is no doubt exactly the same as a modern-day Na'at person living today. This seems to suggest that the Na'at people are a very ancient people and had a distinct presence contributing to the Nile Valley civilization of Nubia. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to contribute to its continued production, you can do so on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.